hit the subscribe button. Currently only 1.7% of my viewers are. Subscribe once we hit 1,000 subscribers. I'll release an exclusive special video, just for you.
The emergency siren blared through the spaceship, Vigilant Hope, a sound that sent chills down every crew member's spine. Alex Walker, an elite human spy, sat in the dimly lit interrogation chamber, his hands shackled, eyes fixed on the alien figures surrounding him. The room's metallic walls seemed to close in, amplifying the oppressive atmosphere. Subject remains unresponsive, an Asliel officer reported, his telepathic frustration palpable. Their advanced mind-probing techniques had proven futile against Walker, who sat unyielding, his expression a mask of defiance. Commander Zral, a towering figure with emerald scales and piercing yellow eyes, observed the scene with growing impatience. "Increase the intensity," Zral commanded, his voice a low growl. The Asliel prided themselves on their telepathic prowess, yet this human was a conundrum they couldn't unravel. As the interrogators prepared to escalate their efforts, the chamber's door hissed open. A new figure stepped inside, his presence commanding immediate attention. James O'Connor, an Australian military intelligence officer with a rugged demeanor, surveyed the scene with a critical eye. His sandy hair was cropped short, and his weathered face bore the marks of countless battles. "Day, mates. Heard you could use a hand," O'Connor drawled, his voice carrying a mix of confidence and subtle amusement. The Asliel exchanged skeptical glances, their telepathic abilities unable to fathom his casual demeanor in such dire circumstances. Commander Zral's eyes narrowed. "You are the human specialist we requested?" "That I am," O'Connor replied, his gaze locking onto Walker's. "Now, if you don't mind, I'd like a moment alone with our friend here." Reluctantly, Zral gestured for the other Asliel to leave the chamber. As the door slid shut, O'Connor approached Walker, pulling a chair to sit directly across from him. The two men regarded each other in silence, the tension between them palpable. "Alex, you know why I'm here," O'Connor began, his tone both firm and compassionate. "We don't have time for games." Walker remained silent, his eyes revealing nothing. O'Connor leaned closer, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "Remember Sydney? The fireworks on the beach?" A flicker of recognition crossed Walker's face, but he quickly masked it. O'Connor pressed on, weaving a tale of their fictitious shared past, a gamble to break through Walker's mental defenses. "We were just kids then, thought we had the world figured out." Walker's steely facade cracked, just slightly. It was all O'Connor needed. "The Asliel need the intel you're carrying, Alex. Lives are at stake. Human lives." Walker's gaze hardened. "You think I don't know that? But if I talk, millions could die. You don't understand the stakes here, O'Connor." O'Connor leaned back, his expression softening. "Then help me understand. Trust me, Alex. We can find a way to save everyone, but I need you to trust me." Walker's eyes searched O'Connor's, looking for any sign of deception. After a moment, he sighed, the weight of his secrets visibly lifting. "All right, James. I'll tell you what you need to know. But promise me you'll make sure the Asliel understand the real threat." O'Connor nodded, his expression resolute. "You have my word, mate." Hours passed as Walker began to reveal fragments of his mission, the reasons behind his silence, and the greater threat that loomed. O'Connor listened intently, piecing together the puzzle with growing concern. The details were grim, a rogue faction within the Asliel threatening both their species, a catastrophic plan that could obliterate entire planets. The tension in the room thickened as Walker's revelations painted a dire picture. O'Connor knew time was running out. He needed to convince Commander Zral of the imminent danger and secure a cooperative effort to thwart the rogue faction's plans. "Commander Zral," O'Connor began, his voice steady despite the urgency in his eyes. "We need to talk. There's more at stake here than you realize." Zral studied him for a moment before nodding. "Speak." As O'Connor relayed Walker's information, Thrall's expression shifted from skepticism to alarm. The gravity of the situation was clear, and the need for immediate action undeniable. The tension in the command room was palpable as Commander Thrall reviewed the information O'Connor had relayed. The walls of the Vigilant Hope seemed to close in, amplifying the urgency of the situation. Walker's revelations had painted a grim picture, and time was running out. "Commander Thrall, you must understand," O'Connor said, his voice steady but intense. "This rogue faction isn't just a threat to the Asleal. If they succeed, both our species are doomed." Thrall's yellow eyes glinted with determination. "We have little time. We must devise a strategy immediately." He turned to his officers, issuing rapid commands in their native tongue, the room buzzing with activity. As the Asleal scrambled to prepare, O'Connor pulled Walker aside. "Alex, we need every bit of intel you have. Anything you can remember about their plans, their weaknesses." Walker nodded, his expression grave. "They're based on an abandoned mining colony on Epsilon Eridani. Heavily fortified, but there are weaknesses in their perimeter defenses. They rely on automated systems, and their response time is slow." O'Connor processed the information quickly. "We'll need to strike fast and hard. Disabling their defenses before they can react is crucial." Thrall approached, his demeanor authoritative. "We have mobilized our fleet. Human forces must coordinate with us for a joint strike." O'Connor agreed, realizing the importance of unity in this dire moment. "I'll get our forces ready. We can't afford any missteps." The command deck of the Vigilant Hope transformed into a hive of coordinated chaos. Human and Asleal officers worked side by side, their differences set aside for the greater good. O'Connor liaised with Earth's military command, securing the deployment of a tactical strike team. "James, this is General Hart," a gruff voice crackled through the communicator. "We're dispatching our best units. ETA, 30 minutes. O'Connor nodded. "Thank you, General. We'll be ready." Walker, now more involved, reviewed tactical maps with Asleal strategists. His keen insight into the rogue faction's operations proved invaluable, highlighting potential vulnerabilities and strategic advantages. Here, Walker pointed to a schematic of the mining colony. "Their main power grid is here. Taking it out will cripple their defenses." Thrall nodded, appreciating Walker's expertise. "A coordinated strike there will be our primary objective." As preparations intensified, O'Connor took a moment to address the combined Human-Asleal task force. "Listen up, everyone. This mission is critical. We're not just fighting for ourselves but for the survival of both our species. Trust each other, work together, and we'll prevail." The fleet emerged from hyperspace near Epsilon Eridani, the mining colony looming ominously against the backdrop of the stars. O'Connor and Walker stood side by side on the bridge, their expressions steely. "All units, prepare for deployment," O'Connor ordered, his voice calm but commanding. Dropships launched from the Vigilant Hope, carrying soldiers and equipment towards the colony. As the dropships descended, the colony's automated defenses sprang to life, lasers and missiles targeting the incoming forces. The air was filled with the sound of explosions and the hum of energy weapons. "Activate jamming devices," Thrall commanded. The Asleal's advanced technology disrupted the colony's targeting systems, providing the strike teams with a vital window of opportunity. O'Connor, leading a squad of elite human soldiers, landed on the colony's surface. The ground was a desolate expanse of rocky terrain and dilapidated structures. "Move out," he instructed, his team advancing cautiously. Walker and a contingent of Asleal warriors moved towards the power grid, their objective clear. "Cover me," Walker said, beginning to dismantle the security systems with expert precision. The sound of approaching enemy forces grew louder, the tension escalating. "We've got company," O'Connor warned, positioning his team defensively. A fierce battle erupted as rogue Asleal soldiers engaged the strike teams. Laser fire and plasma bolts illuminated the dark landscape, the clash of advanced technologies creating a cacophony of destruction. "Hold the line!" O'Connor shouted, his voice cutting through the chaos. He fought with a mix of human ingenuity and sheer determination, his leadership inspiring those around him. Walker, focused on disabling the power grid, worked with rapid precision. Almost there, he muttered, the system finally yielding to his efforts. The colony's defenses flickered and went dark, a significant victory for the strike teams. "Defenses down!" Walker shouted, his voice barely audible over the din of battle. O'Connor seized the moment. "Push forward. Take the command center." The combined human and Asliel forces advanced, their coordinated assault overwhelming the rogue faction's remaining defenses. The command center fell swiftly, the enemy leaders captured or neutralized. As the dust settled, O'Connor and Walker stood victorious amidst the ruins of the colony. The cost had been high, but their mission was a success. The immediate threat had been neutralized, but the war was far from over. "Well done, Alex," O'Connor said, clapping Walker on the back. "This was just the beginning." Walker nodded, determination etched in his features. "We need to ensure this never happens again. For both our species." Commander Zral approached, his expression one of respect. "Your bravery and ingenuity have saved countless lives. We owe you a great debt." O'Connor smiled, his eyes reflecting the shared triumph. "We did it together. That's what matters." As the combined forces regrouped and prepared for the next phase of their alliance, a sense of hope began to take root. The bond forged in the heat of battle would be the cornerstone of their continued efforts to secure peace and survival in the galaxy. The vigilant hope glided silently through the void, the stars twinkling serenely in stark contrast to the turbulence within the ship. The victory at Epsilon Eridani had been hard-won, but Alex Walker knew it was only the beginning. He paced the briefing room, his mind racing with the implications of the rogue faction's plans. "Alex," O'Connor called, his voice drawing Walker from his thoughts. "We've intercepted a transmission. You need to hear this." Walker joined O'Connor at the central console. The transmission played, filled with static but unmistakable in its urgency. "This is Lieutenant Jax of the Asliel Defense Fleet. The rogue faction is regrouping at coordinates 6.7.2.4. Their leader, Krythar, plans to deploy a weapon capable of decimating entire planets. We need immediate assistance." Commander Zral's expression darkened as he listened. "Krythar is a fanatic. If he succeeds, it will ignite a galactic war." Walker clenched his fists, the weight of the revelation heavy. "We can't let that happen. We need a plan, and we need it now." The command deck was abuzz with activity as Zral, O'Connor, and Walker strategized. The tension was palpable, each officer contributing their expertise to devise a cohesive plan. "We'll need a diversion to draw their main forces away from the weapon," O'Connor suggested, his tactical mind racing. "Once they're distracted, a smaller team can infiltrate and disable it." Zral nodded, his respect for the human strategic acumen evident. "Agreed. But the infiltration team will face heavy resistance. They must be prepared for anything." Walker stepped forward, his resolve unshakable. "I'll lead the team. We can't afford to fail." The fleet emerged from hyperspace, the rogue faction's base looming ominously ahead. The tension was a tangible force as the vigilant hope prepared for the assault. O'Connor addressed the assembled strike team, his voice firm and unwavering. "Listen up. Our mission is clear. We disable that weapon and neutralize Krythar. Failure is not an option." The dropships launched, carrying the infiltration team towards the base. Walker's heart pounded as they descended, his mind laser-focused on the task ahead. As they landed, the team moved swiftly and silently, their movements a well-rehearsed dance of precision and purpose. The base was a labyrinth of corridors and fortified defenses, but Walker's keen instincts guided them forward. The diversion worked flawlessly. Explosions rocked the base as the main force engaged the rogue faction's troops, drawing their attention away from the infiltration team. The air was thick with smoke and the acrid scent of burning metal. Walker led the team through the chaos, their path illuminated by the occasional burst of enemy fire. His senses were heightened, every nerve on edge as they approached the weapon's location. "There," he whispered, pointing to a heavily guarded chamber. "That's where Krythar will be." O'Connor signaled the team to spread out, their weapons at the ready. They moved with practiced efficiency, taking down guards with silent precision. The door to the chamber loomed before them, a final barrier between them and their target. "On my mark," Walker said, his voice barely audible. 3, 2, 1, now. They breached the door, storming into the chamber. Krythar stood at the center, a towering figure of menace, his eyes gleaming with fanaticism. The weapon, a massive construct of alien technology, hummed ominously behind him. "Krythar!" Walker shouted, his voice echoing through the chamber. "This ends now." Krythar's laughter was a chilling sound. "You are too late, human. The weapon is already primed. Nothing can stop it now." O'Connor fired, but Krythar was quick, deflecting the shots with a force field. "Focus on the weapon," Walker ordered. "I'll handle him." Walker and Krythar clashed, their fight a brutal testament to strength and skill. Walker's training and resilience were put to the test as Krythar's ferocity threatened to overwhelm him. The air was filled with the sound of clashing metal and the grunt of exertion. Meanwhile, O'Connor and the team worked frantically to disable the weapon. Sparks flew as they dismantled panels and cut wires, racing against time. Walker took a hit, falling to the ground with a groan. Krythar loomed over him, ready to deliver the final blow. "Your resistance is futile, human." But Walker's determination was a force unto itself. With a surge of strength, he twisted, grabbing Krythar's leg and pulling him down. They grappled fiercely, each fighting with everything they had. "James, we need more time," O'Connor shouted, desperation in his voice. Walker knew what he had to do. With a final, Herculean effort, he overpowered Krythar, slamming him against the weapon's core. The impact shattered the control panel, a cascade of sparks and energy erupting from the device. The weapon powered down, its hum fading to silence. Krythar lay unconscious, defeated. As the team regrouped, O'Connor helped Walker to his feet. "You did it, mate. You stopped him." Walker nodded, his breath coming in ragged gasps. "We did it. Together." Commander Zral's voice came through the communicator, filled with pride and relief. "The base is secure. The weapon is disabled. The galaxy owes you a debt of gratitude." As they returned to the Vigilant Hope, the sense of triumph was tempered by the knowledge of the battles yet to come. But in that moment, the bond forged in the heat of conflict shone brightly, a beacon of hope for the future. The journey was far from over, but Walker, O'Connor, and their allies knew that together, they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. The Vigilant Hope sailed through the star-studded expanse, a vessel marked by recent victories but bracing for the final confrontation. Alex Walker stood on the bridge, his gaze fixed on the tactical display showing the rogue faction's last stronghold. The culmination of their efforts was within reach, and the tension was palpable. "Alex, we've just received intel," O'Connor announced, striding over with a data pad in hand. "Krythar's forces are regrouping at their primary base. This is our chance to end this." Walker nodded, his resolve hardening. "We need to strike now, before they can fortify their defenses. This is our only opportunity to eliminate the threat once and for all." Commander Zral joined them, his demeanor grave. "Our scouts report heavy fortifications. It won't be an easy fight, but it is our best and final opportunity." O'Connor's eyes sparkled with determination. "We'll hit them with everything we've got. The element of surprise is on our side." As the fleet approached the enemy base, the tension escalated. The combined human and Asliel forces prepared for what could be their most decisive battle. The ship hummed with activity, soldiers suiting up and checking their equipment, the air thick with anticipation. Walker, clad in his combat armor, addressed the assembled troops. "This is it. We end this today. Krythar and his faction have threatened our homes, our families, and our future. But we are stronger together. Let's show them what humanity and the Asliel can achieve when united." The roar of approval from the troops echoed through the hangar, a potent mix of human and Asliel voices blending into a powerful symphony of unity. The initial assault was swift and brutal. The fleet descended upon the enemy base with surgical precision, targeting key defensive structures to pave the way for the ground assault. Explosions lit up the night sky as the combined forces pressed their advantage. Walker led the charge, his team advancing through the base's outer defenses. The ground trembled under the weight of the conflict, the sounds of battle a cacophony that threatened to overwhelm the senses. Yet, amidst the chaos, Walker's focus remained unyielding. "O'Connor, flank left." Walker shouted over the din, directing the Australian officer and his squad to a strategic position. "We need to secure the central command." O'Connor nodded, leading his men with a fierce determination. "On it. Let's move." As they penetrated deeper into the base, resistance intensified. Krythar's loyalists fought with desperation, aware that their survival hung in the balance. The corridors were a maze of firefights and skirmishes, each step forward a hard-won victory. Walker and his team reached the central command chamber, the heart of the enemy's operations. The door was heavily fortified, but there was no turning back. "Set the charges," Walker ordered, his voice calm amidst the storm. The explosion rocked the structure, the door flying off its hinges. Walker led the way inside, his weapon at the ready. Krythar stood at the far end, surrounded by his most elite guards, his expression a mask of rage and defiance. "You think you can stop me?" Krythar sneered, his voice dripping with venom. "You are mere insects compared to my vision." Walker stepped forward, his eyes blazing with determination. "Your vision ends here, Krythar. This war, this destruction, it all ends now." The final battle erupted, a whirlwind of energy blasts and hand-to-hand combat. Walker's team fought with unmatched ferocity, their resolve unshakable. O'Connor's sharp commands cut through the chaos, coordinating their efforts with surgical precision. In the midst of the melee, Walker faced Krythar. The rogue leader's strength was formidable, but Walker's determination was a force unto itself. Their clash was intense, each strike a testament to their willpower. With a final, powerful blow, Walker disarmed Krythar, sending him crashing to the ground. "It's over, Krythar," Walker declared, his voice resolute. "You've lost." The aftermath of the battle was a scene of controlled chaos. Krythar and his remaining forces were secured, their weapons deactivated. The combined human and Asliel troops moved through the base, ensuring no threats remained. Walker and O'Connor stood amidst the ruins, their expressions reflecting both exhaustion and triumph. "We did it," O'Connor said, clapping Walker on the back. "It's finally over." Walker nodded, a weary smile breaking through. "For now, at least. We've won this battle, but the war for peace continues." Commander Zral approached, his eyes filled with respect. "Your bravery and determination have saved countless lives. You have earned the gratitude of the Asliel people." Walker extended his hand, and Zral clasped it firmly. "We fought together, Commander. That's what made the difference." As the Vigilant Hope set course for home, the sense of victory was tempered by the knowledge of the challenges ahead. The alliance between humans and Asliel had been tested and proven strong, but the path to lasting peace would require continued effort and unity. In the quiet of the ship's observation deck, Walker and O'Connor shared a moment of reflection. The stars stretched out before them, a reminder of the vastness of their journey and the endless possibilities of their future. We've come a long way, O'Connor mused, his voice soft. But there's still so much to do. Walker nodded, his gaze steady. We'll face it together. Whatever comes next, we'll be ready. The two men stood side by side, the bond forged in battle unbreakable. The story of their struggle and triumph was just the beginning, a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity and the power of unity in the face of adversity.